The report shows that by 2030, 45% of working women aged 25 to 45 will be single. No kids single. Okay, so you can say, what's wrong with that? Well, if you think you're going to be 45, no kids, not married, and you're going to actually make a living out of making money, good luck, dear. By 2030, more than half of married women aged 25 to 44 will remain single for the rest of their lives by 2030. They will be unmarried and childless at that age, which is a very steep. In fact, they were so confident Morgan Stanley did this research that their investors knew what to invest in over the next decade. So what are you going to do? So you're investing in both boxed wine and cash. Stop this, please. So we've played bingo games like this before, and society tells us that at the end of our lives we'll regret not having children because there's so much happiness and blessings out there. Let's find it out. Well, I found this article by Sarah Burdock, a 16-year-old nurse who has a heart-to-heart with elderly patients. Their patients described how their own family members viewed them as a burden or very old, so here is a list of the top 5 things people regret most at the end of their lives. The state of relationships around the world has deteriorated to the point where people are no longer married and living together. Not even in traditionally conservative countries. Thailand has one of the highest fraud rates in the world, where you're pointing out that you think like a hope strategist. You want your goal to be a better goal. As a resident of a developed country, the only positive aspect of your new doctor will be how the female population treats you. Realize that fame, fortune, and success are the keys to the world. If you possess somewhere all of these qualities, winning and keeping women's affection will be a breeze. For this reason, I disapprove of partnerships in the dating world, since most women are the little value to men you are free to choose. However, if you can't continue to support her, she will quickly move on to the next man you can support. Why would I advocate for couples to come together and encourage international travel, when the woman you finally have can come out of your life if you need it? Don't assume that everyone in your country will be like the woman you're trying to escape. Remember, social media is unavoidable. As a result, people in other countries suffer from the same level of decadence as we do, and the number of lonely men and women is increasing in both countries given their conservatism and emphasis on family. One might expect their birth rate to remain stable. As a result, there are more single men and women than ever before. From what I understand, China's policy of restricting the number of births is at the root of the population growth problem. The dating scene doesn't look good right now. In fact, today's article on the rise of single men and women in China will make it clear that dating and marriage on the decline. The politics of contemporary Chinese cities should reflect the growing number of solitary dwellers. Honestly, this sounds like the beginning of a horror movie. Traditional Chinese culture attaches great importance to preserving surnames. Therefore, parents usually play an active role. When their children are of marriageable age, the state ceases to exist and a one-child policy is implemented. This reality stands in stark contrast to the single era. The trend of singleness among young Chinese has been recorded, and as a result, many children have disappointed their parents. The discourse surrounding unmarried women in their 30s is often critical. The overuse of the term leftover women in Chinese popular culture has increased the anxiety of unmarried female parents and the pressure on their daughters' owners. What fascinates me is how difficult it is for Chinese men and women to get pregnant despite the family structure and fertility pressures. Unless you have the media and desire to destroy families, I don't see why men injecting women with gallons of fluids and having babies should be a problem. My perception of the Chinese dating scene may be wrong because neither I nor anyone I know lives there. Surprisingly, they face the same problems we have in the West. The younger generation may be discouraged from starting a family due to one-child restrictions. In reality, however, we won't know until the desire for women is widespread in the region. I believe that the personal reluctance to start a new relationship is due to the financial situation and the rising cost of living. However, I don't understand this phenomenon. Individualism leads to isolation and ultimately poverty, as weakened societies are easier targets for oppression. Because of this, the vast majority of voters start families and ensure their wealth is passed on from generation to generation. The family is the means by which the rich and powerful can ensure the continuation of their wealth and status after death. However, modern women are so self-centered and short-sighted that they destroy families, destroy wealth, and run away with money because they are motivated to behave negatively toward others. According to the Bible, the pursuit of wealth is the root of all evil. Future generations of women will prove it every day by filing for divorce for no other reason than dissatisfaction. Because the weakest link is the wife or family members, who may be wolves in sheep's clothing, elites always achieve their goals. Unfortunately, most of us here have or will never achieve elite status because of women's inability to commit to a relationship. The proportion of single-member households rose from 4.9% in 1990 to 14.5% in 2010. More than one-third of China's estimated 2 crore single adults in 2018 lived alone, according to a report. The economy is booming due to the trend of seniors living alone. Trade and industry are at the center of today's society. Young people are leaving the agricultural workforce in droves due to development and expanded economic opportunities as a result of industrialization. Rural areas have been urbanized to an unprecedented degree, and there has been internal migration from rural to urban areas. Therefore, this transition exposes the younger generation to new lifestyles, such as delaying marriage, expanding social networks, and starting a family for the spike in divorce rate seen so far in 2019. I expect similar numbers in 2020, ruling out the possibility of an outbreak causing a spike. So there's something going on that we don't know, you may or may not know. To help us watch this video, please subscribe to this video.